There we go.
Are we live?
We're live.
We're live.
Hey, guys.
Swapcasting.
We're swapcasting?
Swapcasting. It's when we do a podcast together and then we
Cross-publish.
cross-publish, cross-post,
There we go.
and we share. We become Eskimo brothers of
So we
podcast.
have Talking Mopars. See, he gets it. We have Talking Mopars. We have Matt from Monroe.
Yeah.
And we have DIYHEMI.
What's up, guys?
Matt Fro and wrong without the fro.
No Fro.
Who is texting me right now?
He's been texting us for the last
Tell him to get
a
on.
little bit.
Oh, he ain't gonna get on.
He doesn't even know how.
He's so old, okay? It's just,
The only reason he can podcast is because we're there.
Okay.
it's because I'm gonna hit the button. He just, like, he doesn't even understand how a mic works.
He
He's
just
like
talks.
this. He's like,
Yeah, we have to like put our hand on his chin and redirect.
I mean, love the guy. I was like, really thinking about leaving and burning his mic so I can just pull strings and just keep it swung in front of him while he's talking.
Oh my gosh. So we're in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Oh man, I'm having a blast. I don't know about everybody else. I'm pretty sure everybody's having a good time.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I'm depressed because now I have to figure out how I'm going to afford to come to Bowling Green every year.
Every year.
And how I'm going to have to pay for Johnny Mopar. He's probably not. He's got so many projects that he's not going to have the money.
He can sell 42 of his 97 cars.
I'm not gonna lie. That was a pretty good flex on us earlier.
He flexed hard.
So we were talking crap on Johnny.
We weren't talking crap. We just
A little bit on FaceTime.
We FaceTimed him to say, hey, what's up, dude? Because we told him we would. Because he's not here in person, he's here in spirit.
See, this is
That's
the
it.
crap I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And
So anyway,
then he's like, he's out in the garage working on his charger, and
we told him about a wagon.
yeah, and he
And
goes,
he went,
oh,
like that wagon?
and then he just steps outside and like starts holding his phone further out and like casually turning. So he starts just showing off everything just sitting around his yard that like people would lose their minds to have. And he's just like, oh yeah, no, I mean it's still daylight here. I mean,
Yeah.
the reason that he's a white wagon or the black wagon over
That's
here.
exactly what he did.
He
The other wagon. Like,
He literally looked like a guy trying to find cell phone reception. He's like, "You got it? Yeah, do I have it?"
Yeah, you mean that one over there?
Next to the palm tree. The reason he's not worried about coming to Mo Party is because he has Mo Party at his house every day.
Yeah, Johnny does the low party like.
He's got tin growth. He's got B bodies. He doesn't have any E bodies though. That's he has an A body.
What
but he
a
doesn't have
loser.
an A- Yeah, what a loser.
I don't even know who he's
It was the guy with the tin growth and fucking Dan, doesn't he? Speaking of vans, that van today, I can't stop thinking.
Oh, it was nice.
Second van
Didn't it have a teardrop window in the
It did
back?
have a teardrop
Yes.
window.
had a teardrop window. It had crushed blue interiors.
Yes, it did.
It had shag
Blue
carpet
one.
on the walls.
Yes, it did.
Dude,
It was a legit street van, had the fender flares, the big old crackers on it. I
dude,
think I had 305/50s in the back. Usually I see 295s, but I think the 305 did pretty good.
I'll send you the edit I did of that van.
it looks like a Hot Wheels car.
I made it look like a Hot Wheels car. Like I made it like a little bit darker blue, and then really shined it up.
Okay.
Actually, I'm just gonna show you guys now.
All right. Well,
I'm so excited about it.
what was your guy? So I get in there, right? These guys, I flew in last night late. I got in at like, what was it, 9 a.m. And I get out of Nashville. The weather's okay. Of course, when you're 30,000 feet up, it looks sunny. Oh yeah, that's nice. Oh,
Nice.
God, it's hot.
That's lit.
Matt's showing us the picture of the van right now.
And I'm also
It looks amazing.
I'm also able to see why many children were conceived in those things back in the day.
I'm gonna tell you right now, they probably steam clean that shag carpet. This whole
You would have
Like
to.
Like you'd have to, right? I mean, like ammonia and everything else.
Wait, are you referring to a meth lab?
I just saw the van. So the boogie van with 23andMe graphics on it.
There you go.
Right?
Yes.
Ancestry.com.
This is brought to you by Ancestry.
In affiliation with Trojan.
It's just G20 vans and Ram vans, and that's it.
Oh, that's what they call them, Ram Van.
Perfect.
This podcast is going to go off the rails, folks.
So,
I know it already.
so anyway, you flew into Nashville.
I flew into Nashville So when you're 30,000 feet up, the weather looks great. Then you get through the clouds. Because I'm sitting up there like, yeah, it's blue as hell. And then I look down, I'm like, oh, I got to go through those clouds. They're down there.
Yeah.
So we get into Nashville. It's overcast, no big deal. I hop on the 65 to come up here. And
He
between
said
Nashville,
the 65 like he's from the West Coast.
okay, all right.
The 4 or 5.
So I hop on I-65.
There you go.
And between Nashville and Kentucky, it's like a downpour. I got off to eat some food, and I saw an accident. I was like, okay, people don't have to drive out here. News to me. But I get in touch with these guys, and it's nice in Bowling Green. So we left out
Nice
there.
is relative.
It
was
is.
cloudy and
It is.
80, and like it felt like 1,000 degrees.
The humidity out here is insane. I don't know how you guys do it.
So like you heard some. Look at Blake's face. Blake's like,
Please.
he's like, I live in the swamp. Humidity. Hell yeah.
I just want to volunteer the fact that we drink our air.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't even have water in Louisiana.
We're half fish. I have gills.
But no, I mean, like your face when someone goes, "Oh, it's better than it's been."
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
your face. That's your face. It's better than it's been. What do you mean?
You know,
It's worse?
Yeah.
You know why? Is because 2 weeks ago it was 15 degrees hotter with the same humidity. That's
The
why.
humidity is like everybody talks about. Oh, it's the humidity. It is the fucking humidity. It's insane.
The humidity is terrible.
Yeah.
So when I comment, at least it's a dry heat. I mean that from the heart.
I don't, because when it's 105 degrees, it's 105.
Look, you clearly haven't like.
It was 110 in Vegas, and it was nothing like that humidity I experienced today. I'll take the 110 where you breathe it in, you can feel the heat in your lungs. I'll take that over that any day.
Over the liquid.
I had my backpack on. I took it off, and I was like, "Did somebody like what happened? Did I spill a drink?"
Yeah.
I thought my water bottle was leaking. Turns out that it was just sweat. And
Yeah.
then you
I was in
places you
Florida
don't
a
know.
month ago, so this isn't that bad.
Oh, Florida, Miami? What?
Orlando.
Orlando?
It was still horrible.
That's insane. I
Yeah,
couldn't do it.
yeah, it was bad.
Well, what was your guys' just based on the first day? What Mopar stood out to you? Because for me, aside from the van, that wagon, dude, that 68 Hornet. There's a red 68 Hornet wagon that was so clean, and it had the wood paneling on the side, and it had a Hellcat swap and Steelies. The thing was
Red
yeah,
Steelies, red
Mhm.
paint.
yeah, and it had the what do you call those things? On the front of the it had the Scat Pack Club
Yeah.
wheel covers.
Yeah.
Where when you're rolling, they're just stationary.
Right.
They're like the moonwalkers before the moonwalkers. That
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And they had the Hellcat in there. That car was so clean. I was looking for flaws in it just because I was like, this can't be the nicest car here. But there's something that I haven't seen the wagon that clean in person. And there was a couple nice wagons there, but that one just. And I think the license plate said Hemi wagon.
It did.
Yeah,
It did.
Yeah.
Hemi wagon
Yeah.
from Wisconsin, I think.
I
yeah.
think so.
The
So
one
one
for me was a 71 D100 truck, 5.7 Hemi swaps, complete modernized interior. They actually used a 71 C10 interior because nobody makes anything for the sweatline trucks.
Nope.
Was it
Uh,
like a TMI
I
seat
thought-
or something?
yeah,
Was
yeah,
it
yeah.
TMI?
TMI seat.
They make good seats.
Yeah,
They
it was a
really do.
TMI C10 interior. We talked to the guy, super cool dude.
Yeah.
They drove it from, where were they from?
They're from St. Louis.
St. Louis, that's
Mhm.
right. They were from St. Louis, Missouri. They drove to Florida, and then they were driving back in Cottonwood Party, I think, on the way back, and that's the way I
Yeah.
understood it. You know, it's like it's a legit road tripping truck. The
He's
thing
like,
is-
he's
it's got
like,
4 LED in it. I mean,
Mhm.
it- the
Fire,
thing is amazing.
Fire.
Hey, you know what? At least it's a 5.7. You know, he didn't LS swap.
well, we,
It's a
we,
good
oh,
thing.
you know what? He said 5.7. We didn't ask if it was a 5.7.
Well,
I think right.
No, actually, it's very common now to run the 4L80s behind the Chrysler small
Because
blocks
it's
now.
super easy to.
They're
convert,
compact.
and then the 4LEDs are
Well,
so
the
easy to
standalone controllers they're easy to come by.
Right.
Is that what this deal is with those things?
Yeah, the 4LEDs are super easy to control. And
Yeah,
they last forever.
yeah. Now the
I mean,
60E.
Yeah, the 60s are.
It likes to get to 4 neutrals real fast without
Yes.
warning.
Right, but the
All the
80s
neutrals.
The 80s are
In.
the 80s are the new school 727. They just last forever. You can't break them. You can put tons of power through them. They're super easy to control with, you know,
Mhm.
any electronic controller. MSD's got one. There's a whole bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, so Silver Sport, I know they have the 60. I think they have an 80E kit as well.
It is what it is. They call it an AE04. I was looking at it, and it's just a doctored up 4L80 that they send out. And because when I did a automatic, I was looking at doing an aftermarket automatic in the Duster, and I called them. I was like, "So what is this transmission?" And they go, "Oh, it's a 4L80. It may try it up to your Mopars."
Different bell housing.
Yeah. And I was like, "Fair enough. Appreciate your honesty. Have a great day. Thank you."
Right.
Well, I mean, it's just at that
Well,
point,
yeah.
I had like 3 transmissions and 3 engines just hanging out in the garage. So it was just like, pick and choose.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how many Mopar purists their ears are smoking right now. They're like, the V6 GM transmission.
Right. Well, that's the fun thing about, to me, that's the fun thing about Moparty is not, like, nobody's been super, like, that's not been code original. You know, that's what you get whenever you go to shows like Carlisle. Carlisle's amazing, but there's so many purists.
Sticklers, yeah.
And it, like,
It's
I
true.
understand it to a certain degree. If you're building a $500,000 restoration concourse type car, there's a place for that. But whenever you're building something that you want a road trip, who cares if it's got a 5.7 swap with an 8-speed? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're trying to build it to either compete on the track or be reliable and drive to work every day, who cares what the VIN sticker said? It doesn't matter.
Enjoy it.
So it's like, so to me, I don't know why I've been catching up on my TV shows. I think I would rather go to an event like this. I don't know why I'm bringing them up. I'd rather go to an event like this with like Will Scott and have fun with him versus Mark Woman.
Yeah.
I feel like Mark would be driving me crazy on this one.
I disagree.
Who would you rather go with? Or let's not do that.
I mean, I'd walk around with a mirror so I can talk to myself.
That's
Because
what
I'm
you
so
did. That's
fucking
what you
cool.
did. Anyway, as soon as we saw you,
Oh man, yeah, this guy, he's walking around. He's got sunglasses on. And like,
Wait, no, the sunglasses match the vest.
oh yeah, no, I mean,
The highlighter yellow sunglasses and
You're
vest
perfect.
is
I don't
perfect.
know if y'all saw me in my vest ever, but they did not plan on a big dude.
They gave you sizes. You give them your size.
I said 5X, and this vest
Oh,
is
no.
like,
Oh, no.
He's looking like Chris Farley. It's Chris Farley.
oh yeah, I did that at one point. I was like, bad guy and a little
It looked
vest.
like the gun shoulder straps.
I thought about just wrapping around my backpack and calling it good.
Did you seriously? I would have been like, hey, really? Really, guys?
Well, they were already angry with us. So.
yeah, that's a side story that we won't get into.
Holly's great. We love Holly.
Oh, I mean, I've had a hell of a time. It's been a great
Oh,
time.
it's been
It's been
amazing. And the access they give us on media passes is phenomenal. Getting out there on the autocross course and doing some of that
Hey,
shit. So
for sure, I'm
that's-
going to go ahead and say this right now. Hey, Holly, for sure get some air conditioning in that media room, though.
Well, supposedly they were fixing it today.
Oh, there was AC there?
Yeah, they
broken.
said it was broke.
Oh,
So,
okay.
maybe,
Well,
maybe tomorrow it'll be better. We'll
Okay.
see. We'll give you an updated review.
they're preparing for Ford Fest or whatever.
I'm gonna say it right now. I could have sworn I heard like a sawzall go, and they're like, "Oh, the guys here fixing it."
That's my toothbrush.
No, there's actually a lot of anybody that's into Mopars, no matter how purist they are or how not purist they are, would be good to take through a show like that because there's something for everybody.
Oh,
With the exception of the Coronet with the LS swap. How he snuck in, that's pretty gangster.
Hey, there was a Mustang too. There was a white Mustang. I don't know.
But yeah, heavy swap.
Right.
This is
But it was
supposed
like
to
a '68
be, but
Mustang.
this is supposed to be anything
Yeah.
Mopar powered.
Yes. It can be anything.
Whoa,
It has to be
hang on.
Mopar power.
Did they say Mopar power?
Uh-huh.
Yes. I did see a Grand National, but I know there's only one Hell National. So I think he snuck in too.
I don't know.
And I did get a little crazy over that Dodge Stealth with the 440 swap. I was like, okay, it looks a little train wreckish, but I like it. It was pretty savage.
Like,
The black
I go
one?
for-
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
was cutting up. I didn't know what it had in it.
It was definitely cut up. I
definitely
I didn't take a good enough look, but I remember it from, he's got 440 wedge, a sticker or call out on his like sunroof. And I remember seeing that car online a couple times.
Oh, I can dig it.
So I like
Wedge is a little bit of an aggressive, like, it's a 4.
But in the Stealth, I mean, it's like everybody hates on the Stealth because it's basically a Mitsubishi.
Now, listen, we were talking about this earlier. I've got a Mitsubishi Mighty Max. People that listen to our show know that. I call it the milkshake. I want to get a 3-liter turbo Stealth or 3000 GT and swap it into the Mighty Max because it's still the same 3-liter, but way cooler. And I want to bring it here because Mopar and Mitsubishi were partners, and it's
God, that would be a hell of a. Like you roll up there and they're like, sorry. And then you go through the history, like, actually,
wait a second.
have you heard of what?
In
DSM
1991, right? It'd be great.
That's like the forgotten. Like, don't tell that to a
So-
hardcore Mopar guy. He'll be like, that never happened.
Yeah, right.
That's a good question though. Do you think that'll ever happen? Because you see the integration of AMC in all the Mopars.
Yeah, there's a lot of AMC
You see a lot of stuff that is kind of now defunct, but it had ties at one particular point in time.
It will be, but there will always be the divide between the old guys who still say that the modern Charger isn't a real Charger. It's a real Charger. It just has 2 extra doors.
It's like it's a Polara.
Well, that argument almost has no grounds, right? It's like vehicles evolve. Like they're always going to be a new body style.
Yeah.
Like so, when they went from the 2nd generation to the 3rd generation, did people in outrage say that's not a Charger?
Probably.
Like what? They're going to evolve. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure the first Charger didn't have automatic headlights, right? But
Right.
now they do.
Right.
Things evolve. Things change over time. So it's like,
I'm with you.
I don't know.
Now that I think about it, they kind of did backpedal a little bit when they went to the 2nd generation Chargers in '68 because the first ones they had the electroluminescent gauges.
No, the 67s.
Yeah.
That. The 66s didn't.
Oh, they didn't?
67 only on the electroluminescent gauges.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't
because
know
I
that.
want to combine the 67 gauges with the 68 body style. That 68 is my favorite.
Okay.
But I love those gauges. They look unbelievable.
I definitely liked those. I liked the 4 bucket seats.
Yeah.
With
I
a flow-through console?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So, I mean, there's certain design elements that they kind of backpedaled on when they went to 68, but the 68's like the flagship Charger. You know, aside from I'm just talking about the body style in general.
Yeah, 68.
So, I mean, I kind of see where they're going, like, oh, now we're doing 4-door. So, I mean, I see the argument, but at the same time, to what Blake was saying, there has to be some evolution. And they have, I mean, if you look at the history of Chrysler, the amount of times you can see that they've experimented or tried something new because they were listening to the market and what the market needed. They've succeeded many times. The Chrysler minivan, the front wheel drive turbo Mopars that were able to hang with the Mustangs and the Camaros of the day.
Dude,
That's crazy.
There was a Shelby Daytona
Oh, yeah.
that was going up and down the track. I didn't get a number on it, and it'll probably be there tomorrow. It's blue. I got some pictures of it.
Front-wheel drive.
The thing was awesome. Front wheel drive, 2.4 turbo car.
That's black.
Like,
That black.
no, this is blue.
there was a black one autocrossing.
Yeah, there was a black on autocross, but there was a blue
It
Shelby
sounded-
Daytona.
This guy's in drag.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a blue Shelby Daytona on the drag strip that was front wheel drive, and I mean, he had meats on the front. I don't know what it was doing.
Jeez.
This, like, you could hear the turbo. The thing was insane.
They're swapping the SRT 2.4s and
Yeah, and that's right. Well, and that's what I've always wanted to do is a rampage with the SRT. But anyway, that's
Are you guys talking about the Neon?
a whole different deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike with the peanut thing over here.
You can't,
Or that's another know if that's a neon.
you can't call it a neon though.
Or Plymouth Breeze.
No, that was actually funny. Plymouth called it the neon as well.
They also called it the Breeze, though.
What was the
Plymouth
espresso?
Neon
I
and
saw one
Plymouth
with
Breeze, they were
that said
different
espresso. Is that a
models.
different package or what?
But there was a Breeze for a few years that was a totally different body style.
Right, there was.
Yeah.
But then, like, it was Plymouth Neon / Plymouth Breeze, and then they discontinued the Plymouth Neon and then Plymouth Breeze.
Didn't they have
as
a-
the Neon.
Didn't they have a Chrysler neon too? I want to say.
I don't know.
Like
don't
I-
think so.
I don't think so.
No,
I
there
saw-
was like-
I saw a neon that had a Chrysler. Maybe
It might have been a Canadian thing.
I don't
It could have
know.
been.
It
was so
Yeah.
weird. I'm like, what is that?
It might be, yeah.
You
Well,
know-
there's a foreign market. There was like there's a lot of foreign market stuff, but there's a Canadian Charger that's like a whole different ballgame.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Are you
Like,
talking- are you
mid to late
talking about-
70s?
are you talking about the Valiant Charger in Australia?
In
No,
Canada?
there's a mid to late 70s Canadian Charger I'll have to look it up and get more details on it. I don't know a lot about it. I just know that there's a Canadian charger.
We need a fact checker.
Yeah. Right.
Mike.
Jamie, pull it up on the screen.
Pull that shit up, Jamie. There goes Mike.
Mike's at it.
Mike's our Jamie. There we go.
Matt, what was your favorite?
Man, I want to say mine was probably the Ratty Duster
Oh,
that was running autocross.
Sweet.
That was-
That's not amazing.
That was amazing.
This is
Yeah.
71, had a chartreuse grill that the match. It was ratty as well.
oh, dude, it was rough.
Oh yeah,
It was awesome.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
He was out there running autocross, just giving it hell.
Those are my
That's,
people. Put an engine in it and drive it.
that's probably my favorite guy.
I gotta be honest. If that, it's gonna be controversial. If that was my project, I would probably name it the wife beater.
That's only,
That's so bad. I apologize.
that's only controversial in Washington.
Yeah.
Down here,
Wow.
I was at Walmart. I was standing in line. And this poor girl in front of me was bruised from head to toe. And I was just like, man, you poor girl. I don't know what you went through. It did not look like a whole lot of fun. I felt pretty bad for her. I was like, geez, what, did you fall down the stairs or something? It was
that
bad.
just got real.
Anyway, like, what happened to you?
So,
Oh, cool. You guys can joke about it. I say something. You know what?
Segue.
Whatever.
Again, this awkward silence brought to you by
DIYHEMI.
Like, what was your favorite thing?
my favorite.
Other than your food.
I think the coolest thing I saw out there. I don't know. I'm a wagon guy. I love wagons. For some reasons, I do. There, I would say it's kind of split. There was a white wagon I saw way in the back in the vendor swap area, the vendor area. I thought it was pretty slick. I saw it from a distance. I didn't get a whole lot of detail on it. But the second thing I saw was, again, a ratty, like a 72, 73 CUDA in the autocross. I mean, you could see
the red one.
the red one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could see through the fenders in the back. Like the quarters were just cheese. But that guy was out there slinging it around, having the absolute time of his life. You know, it was. Yeah.
So, I'm going to interrupt you, but Narks loves Project White Beater. He commented, Project White Beater, love it. He's like, ha ha.
And Mike, we really don't give a fuck what you thought was cool. So just kidding. What do you like, dude?
It was a really cool short dated spot one. The silver one. What was it, like kind of like light gray?
Yeah, it was
I
cool.
thought it was really
Yeah.
cool.
And it's only day one, too, guys.
Right. Tomorrow's the big day.
Let's be honest. It would have been a better question if it was your top 10 movie.
There's too
Time.
many.
Oh, man.
To Mike's point,
There's so many
I did see that truck, and it was pretty bitching, dude. They did
You
a
know what we're
really.
talking about? Or,
He said that it's like kind of like a destroyer grayish color.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
that's the same one.
That's probably the same one.
I think it was slick.
Okay.
That was Warlock.
The Warlock was awesome too.
oh, the Warlock was nice.
470 cubic inch stroke, big one Warlock. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Patina.
Yeah, pitching it out. Like it's,
I thought Mike was gonna jump out the car and go chase that dude down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We were like, come back.
Yeah, no, that thing was incredible.
There was something for everybody at that show.
All right, well, they had 392 swapped Rampage.
Yeah.
It was a 392 rear engine.
Yes,
Transaction
Yeah.
Rampage.
It was a wide body kit.
Wide body kit.
I would drive
huge wing on the
that
back.
every day. I'd drive it everywhere.
I love Rampage.
See, I couldn't do a top 10. Because my top 10 would be nothing but trucks and dusters.
Mine would be like really nice, ratty shitbox. Really nice, ratty shitbox.
Yeah.
I go back and forth.
I'm with you because that Hellcat swapped Sublime Green 71 Challenger
Hmm.
that was around autocross. That had like the sequential taillights. That thing was incredible. And that was
Very nice.
That thing was worth way more than my house probably.
I think that was a cover car.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was a cover car.
Unbelievable. And he was out there just like giving it the beans. I mean, he was tearing up the autocross course, knocking out the sideways. It was awesome.
I didn't say one of my favorite cars I saw doing autocross was the black CUDA.
Yeah.
That thing was nasty.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That is a
yeah.
drag car on the autocross course.
No, you're talking about
Which
the.
one are you talking
the-
about?
The black CUDA with 42 on the side.
Yeah, so that's a throwback to Dan Gurney, AAR.
Yeah,
It's a throwback. They were saying that he competed competitively at Pikes
Yeah.
Peak.
Really?
Yes.
Second.
I didn't know that they were
One second for
Second place in
hot rod or something like that, or
on the hill. Was it the hill climb?
yeah.
Wow. Fro, are you watching? Because somebody for BigBlock just commented, photos or none of this happened.
Yeah, that's Fro.
Hi, Fro.
You better be wearing pants. We don't talk to anybody that's in our.
One other one I bring up that looked just super clean, the Hell Coda. Well, I guess they call
Yes.
it Ollie's.
Oh, yeah.
Coda.
Yeah.
It was clean too. There was so much cool stuff.
The inside, I mean, just completely upgraded inside.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, there was a lot of crazy stuff. There was several pro stock Hellcat Challengers out of.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Today that were like.
Including that drag pack. I've never seen a drag pack in person. I think they
Yeah.
have 3-liter Whipples. Is it 2.9 or 3-liter Whipples? The thing's amazing.
So I feel like we're all forgetting to mention something that was just absolutely killer. Like we're even talking about autocross and drag racing most of the night, I think. But on the autocross, that slam
Yes.
Grand Wagoneer.
The Grand Wagoneer.
That thing was getting after it. Every
It's-
time.
So it is Gen 3 swap turbocharged,
Okay.
Yeah.
and that thing is a beast.
Yeah.
Oh man,
And he was going for gold on every.
He was setting it every run. He was setting it.
yeah, that thing always got
I think it's a
sideways,
6.4.
just roaring. Then you just hear.
Yeah.
And I mean, oh man, that doesn't make you want a turbo on just something. I don't know what was.
We were sitting behind the grandstands, like near the autocross, and I'm pretty sure when he whizzed by, I saw all his F's get thrown out the window.
Oh,
Yeah, he gave the last one before he got here. That's for sure. Yeah, he was getting it. Man, there was a lot of cool stuff on the autocross course, and then we did the thrill rides.
Yes.
The thrill rides were amazing.
So they're doing tomorrow. You can do it. So Mike and I again, we're sitting eating lunch, watching the thrill rides. You know, we're just sitting here. We have to get some of this on video because it's so cool, right? That these people are actually putting these cars to the test of what they were designed for. I mean, they're beating the snot out of them.
Oh yeah.
So for those of y'all listening, watching, they were running 3 to 4 depending on the time of day. So they had first out the gate in the ring was a red Hellcat Challenger. It was a red eye, so the 797 horse,
Right.
all out. And that dude, we were kind of joking. We're like, all right, we're judging the drivers based on like their send. And the Hellcat, the red eye guy, was full send,
Yeah.
0 Fs given.
Yeah.
Like
He was driving it like
he was. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you had him, and then following after him, you had the F8 green
Yep.
wide body Hellcat Charger. Then you had and you had red. Yeah, it was a red Charger. It was also a wide body Hellcat. And then last, as far as aggressiveness goes, there was a guy in a Frostbite that blew.
Yeah.
Blue. And so that's kind of like their rank of aggressiveness. Because you can see it. You could see some were just pushing harder than others. And we were sitting, just eating lunch, watching, getting some film, some footage. And the Challenger came whipping around that back turn, the big swooping turn in the back where almost everybody's like hats and sunglasses are blowing off because they're in the curve full out sideways the entire time. And it was picturesque. We're sitting there just watching, enjoying ourselves. As soon as the driver whips the rear end out to take the full drift, the full turn in the back corner, he just sticks his middle finger up in there and just flips off the whole crowd as he just graciously like sliding on by the grandstands.
So when Chris went on his ride, he went too hard and spun it out
before the long sweep.
before the long sweep. Never let it out of him.
Never let out of it.
Just
Freaking pinned it. Like he was bouncing off the rev limiter. We were still going backwards, and it was and then it drifted and freaking turned around.
Yeah,
and
he
it
was
was,
around. Just before I got it, people were like, "When that happens, get it out of it. You're just eating too tired." And he's like,
The casual thumbs up.
Yeah, whatever.
He gave a thumbs up. Yeah, I buckled up, and he goes, "You good?" And I go, "Yeah." He gets to like the line, and he goes, "You ready? Go." And
I was
my
inverted.
God.
That's exactly where I was going.
I mean, this guy is Maverick. I mean, I guarantee you, he'd be like, shows up to work in like a bomber jacket. He's like, his husband hurted. And then like, he just goes on his day.
He rode in Ducati to work. There's no doubt about it.
But then, no, like, that definitely made me want to go fast. Like,
It was incredible.
Wait,
oh man, what was my face when I got there?
I recorded it. It'll be on.
I've never gotten to drive or ride anything like that before.
It'll
here's
be on.
here's the kicker. Let's talk about modifications to those cars.
Yeah.
Absolutely zero,
Zero.
none, bone stock off
And
the
they are
showroom
blowing
floor.
the tires off for hours.
Hours and hours on end. So when we were speaking towards the end of our ride, Mike went before me and I went after that. We were speaking towards the end, and the driver literally looked and he said, "Hey, this is what it is. We beat on these cars for 8 hours a day. We give them hell. We do it time and time again. Then we pack it up and we go to the next show and we do it all over
The
again.
only thing they change is tires.
Tires. That's it.
I imagine oil eventually.
Well, right.
Eventually.
Right.
And to get a visual for the amount of tire smoke and the amount of
I've got a video.
slippery that goes on out there. They said every 12 passes they change tires.
I've got a video. So they pull up, they water the tires after every pass. You can still see the smoke rolling off the tires after they water them down. So they water them down and they're pulling up and the smoke's still billowing out of the tires.
You know what I wish we would have
And the
got?
cars keep going.
A time lapse of just the track.
Yeah.
Of them going around and just watch the black just build up as they go. Like start with the oval track with just a little bit of black from the autocross track going, and then just time lapse it. And you just, I guarantee you, it just blow your mind how it builds up.
Yep, absolutely.
That'd have been a cool shot.
It would have been.
I now regret not knowing thinking of that.
What I want to get a hold of the drone footage. Did you see the
Dude,
drone?
The guy running the drone
Dude,
was
he's
a
good.
pro.
He's good.
He was keeping up with he was on the quarter panel
That
every
guy's
single
juice.
turn.
He was.
I guarantee you that guy's
See, it was so good. It was so good. Mike and I swore that they had a pace tracker. You know how they have those you can stick to the vehicle?
Nope,
And it would
because
follow.
He was flying around. He was going down the quarter mile, and then he'd fly back. And like he was flying over all kinds of stuff. And then once they started that, he was chasing.
Even during the General Lee demonstration, he was on it.
Oh,
I was like, wow.
The only good clip I saw him do was he was following a car one time and forgot where he was at. And
Hit the summit tent.
He hit the summit tent and just bounced off
Yeah.
straight up.
Right.
And then, but he shot straight back down on that car right as they hit it.
Yeah, yeah. He was on the quarter panel as soon as they started sliding. After he deflected up off the summit tent.
Oh, that's talent.
Awesome.
That's
Like,
skill.
Man, I
I swore.
So bad.
I swore that thing was on autopilot because it was following within 3 to 5 feet of the back quarter panel.
Oh,
The entire, every single turn,
You can tell
hairpin.
like there was clues that I thought the same thing. There was clues that it wasn't, because at one point he was taking the one, and then he went up and then he saw another car in a better shot,
Mhm.
and he dove down and started falling out.
Right. Yeah. Whoever's flying that drone, kudos, because that's
Yeah.
like I want to do that for real. That'd be amazing.
Wow.
If that guy gets down.
Yeah. Yeah, and then some of the drag strip stuff that he was doing whenever we were overshooting the drag strip a little bit. Man,
I mean,
he was following launches. And,
Yeah, he'd just be up there, just kind of like patrolling around a little bit, getting some shots and stuff. They would do the burnout. He's still just kind of just hanging out. And then as soon as the light changes, you just hear wing, and that drone whizzes past you, and it's just chasing that car down the track.
Right. And then as the car pulls off, he like pulls up, so you're getting like a pull away view. I can't wait to see the video that they got because it's got to be unbelievable.
So shifting gears a little bit, the drag strip. You want to talk about some absolute monsters
Oh man.
going down that track today? Like we were like what, 50 to 100 yards away from the drag strip, and you can still feel it in your chest
Oh yeah.
when they launched on some of those.
It's almost like being at a funny car show.
So we heard about the Durango that was whipping some tail out there. Did you see the Hellcat Durango? So one of our former clients has been out here, and he contacted us, came up to us, and said, "You guys got to go to the drag strip and check out that Hellcat Durango." I said, "It is whipping. I mean, it's whipping ass." That was Steve. Steve said, "I don't know who owned it.
Not the blue one.
No, I think they said it was a black one." So all-wheel drive, evidently, and I've got to try to find this thing tomorrow. All-wheel drive. They said they pinned him up against a Viper, and it was a very very heavily modified Viper, and it skull drugged the Viper, and it punched in a 10X. I don't know what it was, but Steve's like, this thing is mind blowing. This big brick is just walking the dog on an all-out race car.
They're insane.
Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah, they're crazy. And the Grand Cherokees are the all-wheel drive Grand Cherokee track-offs are just unfreaking moving. Because you get four wheels just launching like that.
As they said, it was little to no spin. I haven't seen it. I want to see if I could witness it tomorrow.
Yeah,
But
I won't see it in person.
Just
because
stick and
I haven't
go.
seen one in person. I've seen videos of, like, I don't know if you guys follow the Street Outlaws, but Asian running the track off, and it's like, it's ridiculous. Like, watching that Cherokee launch is just unbelievable. And he runs against, supercars. And, like, they'll tree him, and he'll chase them down half track and just, like, freight train. Like, it's ridiculous.
I love things that are fast. That should be fast.
Yeah, SUVs that just run like 8-second, 9-second quarters. That's ridiculous.
in full body trim.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like not
Jeez.
stripped. It still has all the seats. There's third row seating in the back.
Junior watching cartoons in the back seat.
He's back in the back seat watching Bluey.
Yeah, what a crazy. I can't wait to see. Tomorrow, they said that more people are going to show up tomorrow.
I know.
It's only day one, man.
Yeah, tomorrow's
It is only day
Saturday,
one.
Tomorrow. I mean, people were still working.
Like Cam showing
That
up.
sucks for them, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's rough. I mean, so bad. Johnny, jump on. Johnny, get on here.
There's Johnny.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, we should be. Ooh.
Maybe.
I'll turn mine up here. We should be all right. Oh, there he is. Add stream. Johnny Mopars.
Hey, what's going on,
Oh, we're
fellas?
trying to turn you up real fast.
I see him. I see
Yeah,
the
there he
dude right there.
Can you hear him?
Can you hear me now?
Say
I
that,
can
Johnny.
hear you. I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
I can hear you a little bit.
Little. Oh.
How do we sound? We sound good?
Yeah.
Word.
Nice shirt, dude.
Thank
Love
you.
it.
Yes. Yes. TalkingMopars.com, the merch shop. Go get some.
Little plug there, huh?
Yeah, buddy.
So am I late? How long you guys been on?
About 40 minutes.
Oh shit.
Are you
Sorry.
late? About 40 minutes. You're fucking late. We just think about it.
Yeah, we were just,
You
just
guys, I
shut
was,
down. We were
I
saying
was
bye.
over at Bad Tree. I was on their live. And I'm like waiting and waiting. I'm not seeing anything. And I'm like, oh shit, there's your thing. I just wasn't looking properly. So what's
Well,
going
yeah,
on,
it's
fellas?
fine.
You guys having a good time?
Oh,
Big
yeah.
time.
It's good, man. It's real good.
Still
Cool.
waiting on that,
So was the CUDA on the track, or was there what? I thought I saw a car sliding sideways on one of your videos. Was that one of your guys' car, or was that just somebody else out there?
None of us got on track.
No, unfortunately
Okay.
not.
Bullshit. I was on their rental car.
Did you really?
I thought about it. I'm like, yeah. What if he's a Mopar fan and he's at the show? He's in the fucking truck. Oh, that'd be bad.
So did you get a helmet, Blake, or what was the deal?
No, the rush to leave the shop. It was packed in the. We have a specific box with race equipment in it, helmets, some action camera stuff that we hang from the windshield, and it got left behind. So we looked around. They had a few available from some vendors, but they're pricey. And just being honest, I'm like, well,
Definitely a premium.
premium. I'm like, would I really want to spend that much on the helmet for like basically 3 to 4 passes? Because I mean, I have a fully functioning one at home, so really that's kind of what it boiled down to. It's like it would have been about $100 per pass to have a helmet, and I'm like, that's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
So holding tight, maybe I'll find someone to loan me one tomorrow so I can actually get in there and do a little something. But it's not a game killer. I mean, we're having a great time.
Oh, yeah.
We're cutting up, and yeah, I would love to get out on the track, but it doesn't justify it to spend that kind of money to make a few laps, you know.
Now, so do you guys got in line to ride with somebody on the track or something, sliding sideways, or what was that all about?
What's a technical name? Like, what do
They
they call
call
it?
them the Dodge Thrill Rides.
The Dodge Thrill Rides, yeah. So those are cars from Dodge, and they have drivers there that take you around on the course, and they light it up. So you get in line, the cars pull up, you hop in, they close the door behind you, and they say, "Good luck."
They definitely make up for it if they feel bad for you by being by yourself. Like I told you guys, you didn't know each other.
Yep.
Because you got the cooler riders, you got in the red eye. Because they came up and they go, "You guys together? We're gonna toss in this Charger." I was like, "I don't know him." Talking about Chris, I was like, "No, we don't know each other." So they're like, "All right, you get in the red eye," and away they went.
It was crazy, like crazy.
Whiplash
All
crazy.
kinds of songs.
Oh yeah.
So fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would never be able to drive like that.
I like to think I could drive like that.
Yeah.
Everybody can drive like that. It's just a matter of what you're
Just how well.
That means I can't drive.
Dude, I would be amazed to know how many times my knees hit either the door panel or the center console in the car.
See, and that's what I told you. Put the phone on the phone holder.
I did.
Because you thought you could hold it. Like I thought I could hold it. I sat there and I was like, man, I can hold this. And then we were like all over the
All
place.
over there,
The
yeah.
phone was like I deleted the video because it was just
Challenge
terrible.
accepted.
It was-
Challenge accepted.
yeah, you can try it, but like I got a lot of dashboard and like not a lot.
Oh man, he was hitting it so hard that like my phone in the holder, literally you can see in the video like it was tracking great, and we go to the long side, and the G-force just slid the phone. It was like I thought I couldn't get my hand up fast, and I thought I was gonna lose my phone out the window.
I saw a girl holding her phone out of the window. I'm like, you're gonna like
There's some brave souls out there.
brave soul.
She was due for an upgrade. That's what that is.
I got insurance.
Jennifer from Walmart. Like, I'm out of minutes anyway.
Ask me about my snack.
Oh wow.
Johnny, was that flex on us earlier? I think you're flexing on us.
Yeah.
That was what?
I think we think you flexed on us a little bit when you're like, "Oh, you mean that wagon or that wagon?"
I was.
That is a laugh of a guilty conscience. I know that.
All I heard was welcome to my crib.
It's like the old Dave Chappelle skit. He's showing us his backyard, and he's like, "Come in, you broke ass bitches."
I'm trying to go far. Welcome to my yard.
Yeah, I could only do that because I started a long time ago and bought a bunch of $100 cars. So
Johnny's like, "Oh, you have one Mopar? I remember high school."
Probably middle school.
Oh my gosh.
shit.
Johnny, how often do you go out in your yard and just like, I'm rich as shit right now? Just looking at all your chargers.
I probably go out once a month just to.
That is amazing.
I can tell you right now, they wouldn't
With
be
my
back in the
cars.
house if I had like Johnny's collection in my yard. I'd just be out there like,
You could sleep in a car every night and not sleep in the same car all night long.
Well, see, this is why we can't go visit Johnny, because we're all going to stand out in his yard like King of the Hill. The street light goes down. Yep.
"Yep."
They all go now.
I wasn't up for a guy.
I know.
Yeah,
He
you
was.
didn't he?
Oh, he had a like super.
Super big, yeah, super big. Dang on man, dang man, super big.
Oh, that's fun.
Damn it, Bo Howard. I can just visualize it, man. I visualize it.
Mopar
That was a good show. All right, that show.
That was a good show.
Have you noticed how many cartoon Mopars there are? Like when they do cartoon muscle cars, it's like they're always Mopars.
Was it
The Simpsons?
Archer that
Yes.
that
Oh, they
Comedy
did
Central?
the Charger.
Challenger.
Was it Challenger?
Oh yeah, all kind of. There's a bunch of different ones, I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the one that his mom gave him and took away because he left the door unlocked. And like she stole it and had it crushed.
Oh my god.
Because she's like, he can't learn his lesson.
Jeez.
Cool, no. Well,
I think it was a Charger. I think that one was a Charger. Had like a whiskey dispenser in the glove box.
Maybe so.
whiskey dispenser. I like that. That's nice.
It's just, I can't remember.
Did you ever see the Did you ever see the Simpsons episode where they had a Charger in it? So you know Homer drove like a 70 Roadrunner, right?
Yeah.
There was a Charger in there too, a 69 Charger. And it was I think it was like a flashback, and Snake was actually driving the 69 Charger. It was like one episode. You guys ever see that? No?
Did you own that one too, or what?
It was animated. He probably gave about 50 cents for that one.
No, I have it in the yard. They used my card to model that car.
Traded that one off for some valve covers.
That is funny.
Oh man.
Oh.
We just got to mess
So-
with you, man.
I know. So you guys were saying that Mo Party is way bigger, or Chris, you were saying Mo Party is way bigger than Muscle Cars at the Strip. And you said how
Don't
much
make me sound like
bigger?
a jerk, dude.
Huh?
It wasn't that. It's, you have to understand that with COVID, from what I understand, muscle cars at the Strip was really affected by COVID, especially since they usually do it during the springtime, and they had it at like the worst possible time you can have it in Vegas because it's so hot, and most people. That's why they did a lot of the event was promoted for like nighttime because it was cooler. But I was saying today that if they could get the volume of cars that they have here at Mo Party, it would be insane because that venue is so huge.
And this is day one.
But also it's Vegas. How many people are going to drive their Mopar out into the middle of the desert in 110 degree weather?
I mean, I'll try it.
All right. Challenge accepted.
Yep.
But I think if they keep doing it, I think that it'll grow again, especially if they get back into the swing of things. Because I've seen pictures from Mo Party in the past where I was just like, I got to go to that. And I wasn't disappointed this year at all. I wasn't disappointed in muscle cars at this Strip, but I was super impressed with Mo Party.
Right.
Because it's
And this is only year two.
yeah, Blaine from Mo Party was telling me it's like over 4 times the size it was last year.
Wow.
That's a good trend to have if you're
That's a very good trend.
hosting events,
Yeah.
especially during COVID.
Yeah.
Right.
4 times what it was last year.
But this is also like a location that's really good. I mean, you guys came from Louisiana, you guys came from Arkansas. I flew out from Washington, so it's like people come from. I saw people from Florida, so
Wisconsin,
Mhm.
Indiana.
yeah, it's crazy. So you get more people from more states converging
Yeah,
into one event.
I mean, I think
Whereas
the
in
disadvantage
Vegas,
we
really hard.
have on the
Well, you know, I mean, they have LS Fest and they have LS Fest West, which is in Vegas, I think, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, I mean, there's LS Fest here, and then there's LS Fest West out there because it's such a huge
Yeah.
Yeah.
distance to
Large
drive
distance.
out to the. I mean, we're talking about 20 hours to drive out there.
Yeah.
If we drive, if we try to go out to Vegas for something.
Also,
We're talking about 9 here.
Johnny had something. You can't see him, but what you got, Johnny?
Another
I
car.
was just gonna say that I mean, like on the West Coast, we have the ocean on one side, so we don't have, any area there to be drawn in. And I don't know, I think between the West Coast and sort of the middle of the country, there's big, large gaps of nothing. So we don't really have a lot of people to draw in. I know, like through the 90s, our biggest show out here is in Van Nuys. Trying to think of what it's called, a Woodley Park, basically. But I've been going to that one for years, and it's like, I've gotten used to, like, that's our biggest show, which is not very big when you look at some of the Ford and Chevy shows that are out here, right? It's a pretty small footprint. And my buddy and I went to the Mopar Nationals in Indiana. I guess it was mostly in Columbus, Ohio, and then they moved it to Indiana the year we happened to go. And I was just like blown away. I didn't even know that many Mopars still existed. You know, and this is in the 90s, but there was freaking shit tons of them.
You didn't know that many existed outside of his house.
Outside of the circle.
I totally understand what you're saying, though, dude. And what's crazy is that muscle cars at the strip wasn't just Mopars; it was open to everything. It's still Mopar-y. And also, let's not forget, Holley is a marketing machine.
Right.
They have millions and millions of dollars behind them. So, I mean, I'm not taking away anything from muscle cars at the strip. I had a blast at that event, and that's my favorite quarter-mile strip on the planet. From the few that I've been to, it was just there was something epic about it. I don't know.
Well,
I don't
and they still had
see-
Edelbrock with a trailer today. Like,
Yeah.
Holly, and you're like, okay, Edelbrock, bring your trailer. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's what's really cool too is I've been to Nats in the past.
Yeah.
I used to go pretty frequently to the Nats in Columbus. And yeah, Johnny, it's even until somewhat recent, the last times I went, it's big. It's definitely impressive. Then going to Carlisle this year, which was even bigger, I was like, oh wow, like this is insane. Like there's this much of the gathering still, right? Even with the pandemic, Carlisle hit a record-breaking year around, I think it was 3,000 cars in the field,
Wow.
in the judge field. Then we come here, and I can say just drawing like a direct comparison across which is probably the biggest three in North America. I can say that Carlisle was definitely bigger, but we talked about this, 25 years or so. It's been going a long time, so it's got a long trended history behind it. So it's understandable why the show is so big and successful, right? They've really been working at it a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Moparty, second year in, it's great too, and it's only the second year. It's not as big as Carlisle yet, but one thing I've noticed is the chill factor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it is definitely a more chill, laid back show. It's an event where I feel more comfortable, like people will just come up and walk up to you and just start talking shop. Like I didn't get that so much from Carlisle because maybe there's just an abundance of people, still very nice people. It was still a great show.
Partially the difference.
It's just a different,
demographics.
it's just a different. If you are really interested, like we were talking earlier about the numbers and the history, it would be a great trip to go make to Carlisle because you can really go look into the individual barns, see the survivors, and get a sense of that history and everything that came from the past. Yes, really understand the amount of work and appreciate what goes into making those concourse restorations, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
But down here, it's a different vibe. You're out here, you're just hanging out.
Put an engine in it and drive it.
Yes. You see a much larger amount of run what you brung and just have an absolute blast. It's a more like free spirit mentality. Just let's go kick some ass and have some fun.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
we were just
definitely a big deal here for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they just send them.
They said, full out.
There was a green and orange tin grill with a flatbed on the back of it. So they road tripped in a green and orange tin grill truck with a race car on the back so they can bring their race car here. That's awesome. Like that's the mentality.
Yeah. Well, on the other live, we did talk about this a little bit, and we were talking about how there's like a difference between car show people and drag race people and swap meet people even. So like, I imagine Carlisle is pretty much car show, right? And is Moparty, like, do they have a lot of drag racing and track events? Or is it...
You didn't go a moment today without hearing something roaring either around the autocross track or down the drag strip.
And a really big car show, like for I mean, for as many cars as were competing in the motorsport events, there was a ton of cars in the car show. You'd think that running 2 motorsport events side by side would take away from how big the car show was. The car show was enormous.
Yeah.
And there's the swap meet,
Mhm.
and there's the drag strip, and there's the autocross. Like, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of cars doing all of it.
I will say that Muscle Cars of this trip was highly drag race focused, and just going through the pits at Mo Party, like super competitive. There was more of everything at this event. I was seeing front wheel drive Omni GLHs, Dodge Spirit was running.
Okay.
They just had a bigger variety of drag cars here, which was cool.
Big tires.
Well, I didn't even get a chance to go to the drag strip. Everybody had already been to the drag strip. I'm going tomorrow. That's one of my first stops. I gotta watch some drag racing, get some good footage, hopefully. Yeah, I was really impressed. I went through the pits and I was just looking around. It was like every which way I turned, I was like, oh, there's a super stock. Oh, there's a super stock. But it wasn't just those. I mean, there was that drag viper that Blake was talking about earlier. Yeah, it's a crazy event, and I'm really excited to see what happens in the next couple of years.
There's a blue Belvedere that pulled the front tires off and ran like 820s. I mean,
Holy
like
shit.
there is everything.
I also didn't realize it was a quarter mile.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, 820 quarter, not 828.
Yeah, I was looking at the strip and I was like,
Big
oh, that's a quarter mile.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit deceiving.
It is. It's kind of a small drag strip, so it seems like it's an 8-mile strip.
Yeah, it does look like an 8 mile at first, but when I watched, like when I concentrated on them making a pass, I was like, oh, that's a quarter mile.
Well, and then you hear 7.4 at like 185, and you're like, oh, that's not an 8.
But yeah, tires squealing all day, engines roaring. It was amazing.
Oh,
It's by far more active. It is an active show.
All
There's
no stop.
it's if you want to be entertained and you want to see some really good action and fun going on, it has it. I would say so.
This is the show for that, for sure.
I've never, ever been the guy that's wanted to go to LS Fest, but I kind of want to come back for LS Fest.
Well, considering all the Holly people that they kept saying how much more over the top LS Fest was than Mo Party is right now.
Well, the thing is everybody, like, I know that we want any swap in the world, but everybody is LS swap in the world. Like, there's LSs in all kinds of ridiculous crap. I can't imagine what kind of stuff shows up to LS Fest, which was last week. I don't know if I want to go to LS Fest over Mo Party. Like, if I have to choose between the two, I'm coming to Mo Party. But if they split them up so that you can go to one and then go to the other later in the year, I'd like to hit both.
I'll tell you what, muscle cars of the strip had that Mo Party doesn't have, and that's the pedigree of barn finds. Thanks to Mopar's 5150, those guys are like a one crew show. What they bring to those events is insane. I wouldn't be surprised if you see them if I was the host of an event and a promoter, organizer of a show, I'd be calling up Troy trying to get him to bring stuff out, just because his stuff just attracts so much attention and generates so much interest. Now, there were some amazing barn find and patina cars at this show.
Oh yeah,
that Charger 500. There was a Charger 500 that had been sitting for 40 years. They pulled it out, and the thing was it was an old drag car. It was awesome, but it was Swiss cheese.
Yes.
It hadn't been sitting in the barn.
Oh really?
It had been left outside for 40 years.
Oh my god, it's pretty solid for being outside for 40 years. I'll say that.
I heard somebody talking about it's been outside for 40 years.
Did you guys see the Demon that rolled up next to it eventually?
Yep.
Yeah.
That thing was awesome. I didn't see that one the first time I walked by, and then I saw it later on. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
So
there
did
was some
you-
cool stuff, and then as
That's
far
right
as
around.
like pristine cars, there was a couple of cars that were there
Yeah.
that were $500,000, $600,000 cars. I mean, there was a Superbird that was just like.
Was it a heavy car?
Now I don't know if it was Hemi. All I saw.
I don't know if it was a heavy car.
But even still, even if it's a 446 pack car, as perfect a shape as it was in, it's a $500,000.
It was all
It
right.
was. It was.
It was fine.
It was
I only judge that because I have a local bird to me that is a 4-speed Hemi car.
right.
The guy wants $375,000. He can't sell it, and I would pay $375,000 in a heartbeat if I had the money.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, your
And I think it's
your
really
440
nice.
cars, your 440 cars are typically more in the 150 range.
right.
You need a
But this
heavy
car
enforcement.
this car was
Yeah.
perfect, like original.
Yeah.
Like the paint was original. They were still like, I don't know if it was restored perfectly or if it's an original car, but like there was runs on frame, like where there would have been runs on frame if it was produced in '69.
Yeah.
I don't know what level of detail they went to. I know that some of those guys do. Like some of them mark where the runs are, and then when they rebuild it, they make sure that it's there.
Put it there.
The car was phenomenal.
So did you see the A12 car? The Barn Find A12? The one that I sent you pictures of from Carlisle? It's out here.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm gonna have to
The
see
one
it.
that had all the dirt dauber nests still on the top of it?
Why don't I not remember this car?
I sent you pictures from Carlisle a couple weeks back or a couple
I
months
probably
back.
saw it.
Anyway, it's over there by the Dale's Cuda Shop tent.
I didn't even know
in
the
Midway.
Dale's shop was there. How am I missing this shit?
Um, But seriously, it's out there,
It
and
didn't show up
from what I understand, you know who the owner of that car is?
Who?
The guy you spent the whole afternoon talking to, Classic Car Liquidators.
Really?
He brought it, from what I understand.
It was interesting talking to those guys because I don't know if you were there for that or not, Blake, but I remember watching the car show with the English guy who has the other English guy, and one guy buys the cars and the other guy sits
Wheeler
there.
Dealers.
Yes, that's the
Wheeler
show.
Dealers.
They went to that dealership because I recognized the dealership because it was right in the same, like they take the same pictures at the same spot, so you know what dealership it is, and they're always advertising for Sherman, Texas. And I remember that guy going there to get a '69 Charger. I believe it was an RT car, and if I remember right, they paid like $20,000 or $25,000 for it. I've seen hundreds, if not thousands, of these cars for sale, and you're not picking up a car in that shape for $20,000 or $25,000. I mean,
No, it's
you
not happening.
can, but it's very, very. I mean, especially putting a car like that on the market, it wouldn't even be on the market for a day.
Mhm.
You know, and I,
Not at that
gosh,
price.
I don't know if I should say this. I might get in trouble for it. I asked him. I said, "Hey, is that for TV? You really selling that car for that money?" And he said he shook his head. So we'll just leave it at that. But I did not believe that show when they were saying they got a car for that cheap. I was like, no way, no way.
Mm-mm.
Which sucks because it shows some realism. Now you got guys going, I didn't think they could get a car for that cheap. But on the other hand, you got guys watching Barrett Jackson and think they can get a crazy amount of money for their, barn find car or whatever. It's,
Oh, yeah.
a pile of shit on the side of the yard.
I mean, or you can just your fully restored truck and make them, let them fold the hood in half.
God. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they,
Why did I hear about it?
because it was a C10.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But, no,
It's
they
something
sent,
no one cares about in this state.
they sent it across, it went, and it was fully done, beautiful truck. They had the hood up for people to look at on the side, and as it went to roll up on stage, they went to close it, folded the hood right in half.
What?
It still sold for like $29,000. So I don't feel too bad for anybody, but
I think a C10 hood is like pocket lint cheap. Like,
Okay.
you can buy a C10.
AMD's like overstock on that shit.
Right. Blow out.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh man, but could you imagine like being the guy that's like, I'm just gonna close this for you guys, and it's like,
It was probably an aftermarket hood. I
I was
know
gonna say, there's
from my
no way a C10 hood can just talk it like that unless it's car.
I gotta see.
Yeah,
I don't believe it.
from my past
I want to see photos.
Hold
of
that
that
shit up, Mike.
from my past experiences,
The
the
that 70s Canadian Charger.
I know, it's just bullshit. We already discussed it. It doesn't exist. That's crazy. God, how would you like to be that guy? Like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and go get a job at Barrett Jackson. See you later. Or was it Barrett Jackson or Rico? Oh
So
yeah. How embarrassing. And did it get hammered before or after that happened?
what do you mean hammer? Oh, no, they hammered after.
Oh,
look at a discount.
Okay.
So they saw the hood and still bid that high.
Wow. That's crazy.
For real, those hoods are like $100.
Well, the sheet metal is so much thinner now on some of the reproductions,
Right. Yeah.
and on the C10 specifically, I know like the tailgates. Real deep enthusiasts will search far and wide for an OE tailgate because the new ones, if you close them too hard, they'll like bend.
That's okay.
So
That's
it's like
crazy to think that. It's crazy to think that.
Just like owning a
Whoa! I'm sorry if I was in the audience, I'd probably laugh.
Oh, you can help sit there and giggle. Like I would. I'd be like, oh,
What a piece of shit. And this rich guy's like, 29,000. Sold. Shit. Sold to the moron.
Moron. It was just some rich dude that was like, watch how much I'm gonna spend for this bitch.
like they've been talking about this for weeks.
I call him a moron because I couldn't do what he does.
and because of
Drink and buy cars. You know what I mean? Have you seen, like, look at the crowd next time. Everybody's got a drink. And you'll always see, like, one guy that's super enthusiastic to his buddy that's not. So you can tell that that guy's not the one spending the money. And the other guy that's super serious is. He's like, get that one, dude. Get that one. I've seen that a couple times. Let's see here.
I need to make a rich friend so I can go to Bear.
Me too.
They're starting to go to Houston now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this summer was their first Houston one at the Energy Stadium or the Energy Arena.
Did they break the record for the most expensive CUDA yet? Is this the one that got sold in Seattle? Or is that the one?
It didn't sell. It never hammered.
Oh, it never hammered. It got bid up that high, it never hammered?
Oh, no. You talking about the gray one? The silver one?
Yeah.
Was it Winchester Gray?
I think,
Yeah.
Was it Seattle or was it yellow? I thought for some reason it was yellow.
There was a Winchester Gray one. I think it was Winchester Gray convertible 71 Hemi CUDA. And the auction house, so Barrett Jackson, said, I think that's who did it. Was it Barrett Jackson?
Yeah. That was.
So they had drummed it up, and they gave their initial estimates leading into the auction. They said, hey, it's going to go for $6 million. Because I think the last one that sold that auction was like 10 years ago.
That's the one that I'm talking about.
That's the one that went for $3 million.
Yeah, that's the one that
It
sold in
hammered
Seattle.
for $3 million. So
And this one was supposed to be higher than that.
because it's people love Winchester Gray.
Oh, yeah.
Very desirable color. Because it hammered. They drummed it up. Let me back up. They drummed it up saying, hey, this car is going to go for $6 million. That's what we're banking it on. So in like the pamphlet, the brochures, everybody's like, hey, it's going for $6 million, blah, blah, blah. That's the forecast. It hammered at $4.5 million. And the reserve was not lifted. So the car did not get sold at $4.5 million.
He still had the record. He didn't want to get rid of it. Was it 4-speed?
I don't know. I
That would have changed the game right there. That would-
I don't fully remember all the
Every time I
details.
click on it, it tries to it won't load, but you can see it here in the top corner.
What is it?
Been to it.
What a piece of shit here. That is so unfortunate. God, I would be so embarrassed.
I call that a ramp air hood.
See if we can get this on the screen. Oh, over this way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a funny story back in our day,
You can't see that.
local
It's too bright.
cutting up in town kids, auto enthusiasts. We had one of our local guys had a Dakota, and back then in the early 2000s, people loved the Dakotas. Well, this guy was not exactly the most gingerly with his truck, and he had a nitrous system on it that was it was a button. It was a button in the solenoid, no wide open throttle switch, no arming switch, no tack switch, it was just basically you click the button and it was spraying nitrous into the engine. Well, so we were out on a local highway, Mexico, and someone distracted. So the owner wasn't driving. A different friend of ours was driving. Something distracted the driver, and his finger slipped, and he hit the button at idle. Blew apart the plastic intake manifold and turned the hood identically to that one. Like the center of the hood buckled up, and you could stick your chin on one quarter, like front fender, and look clear through under the hood to the other side.
God.
Wow.
So that's where we came up with the term ramp air hood.
And the floor fell out.
Yeah. Danger to the intake manifold. Oh no, that's cool. It's a caravan.
It's Dodge.
Oh yeah, barn find.
I brought the barn with it.
It just said born fine.
I hate that fucking term. God, I hate it. I was so
Oh,
against it.
yeah.
I was like, it's not a barn find unless you find it in a barn. I Googled it, and it's like, barn finds are typically used to describe any car that's found in a shed, a barn, and yard. And I'm like, oh, there goes that. There goes that argument. It's not a barn find.
Here's my thing with that, though. It's like when it actually legitimately is a barn find, because the term is used so much now, people are like, yeah, sure it is.
Yeah.
Right, sure it is.
Well, there was that picture of that Daytona with like the shitty flames on it.
Mm-hmm. That was the one that was. It wasn't in a full barn. It was
they
in.
Staged that. Those pictures, the most famous pictures, is staged. They staged it. Like
It was under one of those like cheap, flimsy carport things.
Yeah,
that's
they
what.
put it in a barn and like covered it with some hay and shit. They're like a barn find. I think they did that just for the magazine or whatever. But I still, those pictures were floating around for a while, calling it a barn find, and that's what making it look like that's where it was. But it's like, why didn't you just take pictures of where it was? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Someone did have a picture of them winching it out from its
Did
spot.
they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. See, I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean,
Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should just go
to me,
around
that's so
and
much
take
more
pictures of
impressive.
barn finds. See if I can get rich.
Maybe you should.
Maybe everyone would know me if I did that.
No,
Maybe you should be rude to somebody that has a podcast.
And tell them that all his pictures are stolen.
Yeah.
I've been drinking. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. I don't think he listens to us.
No, for sure he doesn't. He's in his basement eating Cheetos right now.
And a beanbag chair.
I'm playing World of Warcraft. And
He's a night elf rock.
You know a lot about that.
Did you never
So,
see
Chris.
the Mr. P commercials for that game?
no.
Yeah, he's like,
So what? It wasn't just me that
What?
said no.
you know what?
What are we talking about here?
We ain't looking it up, but they exist. You can Google that in your own time.
Pull that shit up, Mike.
Hey, unless you got some Mr. T cereal.
Mr. T has cereal?
Mr.
What?
T had a cereal.
You don't know that?
Yeah,
Okay,
dude.
well,
Mr. T had a cereal, man.
What? I think I'm a year younger than you.
Yeah, I'm 36.
I'll be 35 this year.
How do you not know about the Mr. T? They definitely played in Arkansas. I guarantee you.
I got it. Everybody was talking about Randy Savage.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, you guys are more like wrestling.
Yeah.
But he's wrestling.
We definitely love our Paula Dean.
Butter.
Good job. Good job.
I'm tired.
Me too.
It's been a long day.
Wrap this up.
I was thinking, man, we're gonna be so enthusiastic, but I think we're all beat.
Dude,
I've been drinking. I don't know.
It's been it's been a long day full of
I mean, I
Excitement.
got up
and we walked 73 miles to the media party. So
Yeah, that's
imagine
true.
how we feel.
That's true. I had a layover and
I had to sit in an airport, guys.
I got 2 scoops of ice cream for $5. Best deal in town.
Oh man, was it good?
Oh, it's delicious.
I tried it. Oh wait, no, I got diabetes.
I was so hot I needed it, dude. I realized after we left, I was like, I haven't eaten anything since that ice cream, and I really haven't drank anything but 1 bottle of water. It was horrible.
It's
Tomorrow.
hard. Dinner was waiting on you, baby.
Oh no, hey, dinner was amazing. I was hoping that it would soak up some of this alcohol, but a couple drinks and I'm having a good time talking crap about people that probably could have did some things for me. It's all right. I don't need you.
I got these guys. Oh, you're screwed, man.
I am screwed.
I was
Very
about
long career.
I was about to say I'm pretty homely looking. I'm like the last girl chosen at prom.
I mean, look, if hypothetically, if you were a girl at prom and I was a girl at prom, I think you're getting picked for me.
Y'all both have beards.
That's not necessarily true. I'm like a best of both worlds thing. I'm like, what are both of you up to today? All right, go ahead. Thank you for listening.
Matt, where can they find us?
This is weird.
They can find us at BigBlock Garage. They can find Blake Mike at DIYHEMI.com. Chris is at Talking
Tokyo Drift?
Chris is unemployed because now I've heard every bridge that I have.
And you got Johnny at Johnny Mopar.
Johnny's just been sitting there going, what are these guys doing? Oh, man. Johnny, why didn't you stop me?
What?
You didn't say, hey, Chris.
He kept trying to say stuff, but you guys can't see him. We don't know. He's trying.
We can't hear him too well in the audio.
We're listening to you through these headphones right here, Johnny.
That's not what I use.
What? What? I still can't. I can't even hear what you're saying.
Oh, awesome. Thanks for telling us. All right, Johnny. Well, hey, thanks for joining us, buddy. It was a good time.
All right.
And is your work
Likewise.
hiring? Because I need a job now. Because I'm never going anywhere with this podcast now.
This show is really going down.
Oh, no one will ever want to take pictures of my shit.
Abort.
Never run this town again. Ever.
Abort.
Abort mission.
All right. Well, to the no viewers, thank you. There's a couple of you throughout the night. Appreciate y'all. Until next time. Good night.
Good night.
All right.
Bye, Johnny.
Bye, guys. Have a good time.
You too.
See ya.